bunch of people made a lot of terrible mistakes, and we came and did what we could to get them out of a jam. I'd say, friend, if you hadn't screwed up, I wouldn't be here.
Best thing could happen to all of my people would they run into all of you. The whole secret of this business, I think, is to know your job as intimately and as interconnected as you possibly can.
Very important to know the enemy is fire and how the enemy spreads, convection, conduction, radiation. And you got to know your battlefield. You're going to do battle on the fire ground, so you got to know the battlefield.
The premier position that the workers in this room have put this service in is that we are the most popular service, we're the most accepted service, and we're the most trusted service. We have 2 in and 2 out. I says because firefighters are worth saving.
His message was always to make a difference, to live life so that you were leaving a mark. This award shows our family that he truly made a difference.
If you've been in fires a lot, no matter how experienced you are, you've got to have somebody on your shoulder telling you that, they're backing you because you don't know. There are times when you say, hey, God, just get me through this. I'll be a good boy. I'll go to church on Sunday. I'm going to take care of everything. Get me through this.
It's a super thing, and I am very appreciative of this award. I would just like to leave one simple little message today, especially to the younger people. You can make a difference.
If my father were here this morning, he would remind us of the cold, hard fact that no leader is any greater than the men and women that he is called to lead.
To be able to work at an occupation which brings tremendous personal satisfaction and to enjoy the association with the marvelous people we have been privileged to work with makes firefighting enviable to those sentenced to much more mundane walks of life.
I think like most people that have these things happen to them, they realize that they really stand on the shoulders of people who have gone before them, people who have stand next to them, and people they admire.
If you can travel around and you can preach the message of professionalism and safety and for what firefighters do for this country, then I think it's all worthwhile.
Somewhere in this room, there is someone that will be up here on this stage accepting this award in the future, because this is the group that is the leadership of the fire service.
Wardrobe malfunction, sorry. The greatest legacy that any of us can ever hope to leave behind is certainly our families and our children. After that, it would have to be contributions we make to the betterment of society as a whole. This year's Lifetime Achievement winner can boast that he's done both. Chief Ron Siarnicki has a career that spans more than 35 years, and within it, a collection of accomplishments which was divided among 4 chiefs would still make 5 impressive resumes. It divides so difficultly that we didn't know what to cut out. And it gives me tremendous pleasure to give you a brief overview today of the career of one of America's most distinguished firefighters. This is going to take a lot of breaths. In 1978, Chief Ron Siarnicki joined the Prince George County Fire Department. 4 years later, he was promoted to apparatus technician. In 1985, he became a fire sergeant. In 1988, he was promoted to the rank of fire lieutenant. In 1990, Ron was promoted to the rank of captain. Ron quickly made battalion chief in 91 and lieutenant colonel in charge of management services in 1995. In 1997, Ron was named the executive services deputy for the Prince George County Fire Department and then was selected as the fire chief. He held that position for 4 years, retiring in 2001. In 2001, Ron became the full-time executive director of the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation. The National Fallen Firefighters Foundation is a nonprofit organization which was established by the United States Congress in 1992. The mission and purpose of it is to create programs to honor and remember America's fallen heroes, firefighters, and to provide the resources of assisting the survivors of firefighters who are lost in rebuilding their lives. Ron's duties as the executive director of the National Fallen Firefighters Memorial include the following: the Firefighters Memorial Weekend, firefighter support programs, firefighter training programs, support and other support programs, and the creation of the National Memorial Park. The National Fallen Firefighters, under Ron's direction, has been working with the entire fire service to develop and implement programs that will reduce the number of line-of-duty deaths that occur in the United States each year. As the director of the National Fallen Firefighters, Ron's expected to implement and develop national fundraising campaigns. Ron directs the capital expansion activities for the National Memorial Park, including the Walk of Honor and the Visitor Center. Ron works tirelessly to promote and maintain partnerships within the fire service rescue communities. During his tenure, he has embraced relations with the federal agencies having fire service, revenue service responsibilities. Ron represents the foundation at the national, state, and local conferences, meetings, training sessions, and fire service funerals. And most importantly, whenever one of America's bravest falls in the line of duty, Ron Siarnicki responds. He lends his expertise. He explains the procedures and the policies that need to be followed to secure benefits. And most importantly, he provides a strong, loving, and caring shoulder for those people to lean on when they need it the most. He reminds those suddenly stricken that they're not alone and that the sacrifice that they're now enduring will never be forgotten. Ron makes sure that everything that is needed to be done for the emotional and financial support of those people is done. And as if that weren't enough, Executive Director Ron Siarnicki also has created the Courage to Be Safe program, the Everyone Goes Home program, which trains the training of local assistance teams, and the 16 Initiatives Safety Summits, Project Roll Call, the Roll of Honor, the Survivors Network, the Assistance to Fire Chief programs, the National Fallen Firefighters Annual Golf Tournaments, and the list goes on and on and on. Ron Friend's Denny Compton had this to say, and Denny's currently the chairman of the board of directors of the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, and we asked for some comments, and this is what Denny sent us. He said, Ron Siarnicki has been dedicated his professional life to serving and protecting people. As the chief of Prince George County Department and a leader in the Maryland Fire Service, he will be remembered for creating a legacy he has now created for others to follow. Now in his role as executive director of the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, he has taken his contributions on the national scene to a whole new level. Chief Siarnicki's passion and commitment to making the foundation more effective is evident in everything he does. For him, it's all about serving the nation's firefighters by honoring those who are lost in the line of duty, caring for their survivors, and supporting the training of fire departments and doing whatever it takes to reduce the number of firefighter fatalities experienced each year in our country. He is extremely deserving of the Tom Brennan Lifetime Achievement Award. The Board of Directors Advisory Committee and the staff of the National Fallen Firefighters could not be more proud of Ron. That was from Denny Compton. From another chief who I think you'll recognize, Billy Goldfeder, who was also on the board of the National Fallen Firefighters, we received this comment. When I found out that Chief Ron Siarnicki would be receiving the Tom Brennan Lifetime Achievement Award, I was thrilled. But then I started thinking of the reasons why. And there are many reasons. My real focus is on the word achievement. The key word in this major fire service award is achievement. Ron started as a volunteer firefighter, then a career firefighter, then worked his way up to becoming chief of the department in Prince George County, Maryland. Certainly doing that alone is achievement. But moreover, where he did make a difference in that community, it is your community where Ron has truly achieved. When Ron took over as the executive director of the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, he understood that while honoring those who were killed in the line of duty is a sacred and critical role, he also realized that just like a responsive fire department, prevention is also the goal. So with the support of the Board of Directors, the United States Fire Administration, and the Department of Justice, clearly, under Ron's direction and passionate leadership, he took on the role of firefighter death preventor. Under Ron's leadership, the 16 initiatives, the Everyone Goes Home program, and so much more have come to life and have directly affected the way firefighters train, think, and operate. Today, there are a few firefighters who have not been either impacted directly through the program or indirectly through other firefighters, instructors, and officers who have carried the message. that it is possible to be an effective firefighter while not unnecessarily getting seriously injured or killed. Simply put, Ron truly deserves the FDIC Lifetime Achievement Award for what he has achieved in helping to train firefighters to understand what are necessary risks and what are not, but also for what we achieved as firefighters have achieved due to Ron's passion and proven leadership throughout the United States and Canada. What Ron has achieved matters. From Dr. Dennis O'Neill, Superintendent of the National Fire Academy. Only once or twice in a lifetime will you ever meet an individual with the poise, leadership, and compassion and the fiscal acumen to accomplish what the National Fallen Firefighters has done in its short tenure. From their continued efforts to reduce the line-of-duty deaths to their breathtaking execution of the memorial service each year, we rely on the foundation for guidance and consolation in times of need. Consolation, in times of need. This remarkable organization is sustained and motivated by an extraordinary leader, Ron Siarnicki, who works tirelessly to raise funds to support the families of the fallen. This Lifetime Achievement Award is well-deserved and long overdue. I could not agree more with Dr. O'Neill. And finally, on behalf of myself and over the 1 million firefighters who I know would want me to say right now that I'm representing them, thank you, Ron, for a job well done. You have always been a friend. You will always be a friend to every firefighter, a supporter and a shoulder to lean on when times are tough, and a light that we can always count on to point us to true north. For your love, your strength, and your passion, we thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce to you the 2010 Tom Brennan Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Chief Ron Siarnicki.
Thank you. Well, good morning. As I was in the back waiting for Bobby to finish that phenomenal story, I was watching the names of the people who have gone before me with this award. And I must say I'm truly humbled to be among those great leaders of the fire service. And, it's kind of a unique moment. But it's a significant moment for all of us that have been on this journey. And I'd like to begin by expressing to each of you how honored and privileged I am to have been selected this year's recipient of the Tom Brennan Lifetime Achievement Award. Tommy's a gentleman who's done so much for this fire service, a person who I can call my friend. And to be associated with his legacy is a phenomenal point in my life. Because this award symbolizes many different and great things to me. But most of all, it represents that significant journey throughout my life involving our fire service community. Bobby, to you, the entire fire engineering FDIC Penwell organization, I thank you for bestowing this unique honor upon me. It is a privilege to call you my friend, and today is a day I will not soon forget. I would never have thought that my efforts to be a good firefighter, fire chief, and most of all, a good steward of the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation would have ever brought me to this point in my life. But it has, and for that too, I am deeply grateful to everyone who's helped me make it possible. I would be remiss if I did not just take a second to thank some special people who influenced me along my journey in life. First, my parents, who taught me the values of community service. The Menneson Volunteer Fire Department, Hose House Number 2, who gave me my first start as a firefighter in the community that I grew up in. the members of the Prince George's County Fire and Emergency Medical Services Department who gave me the chance to move up through the ranks and ultimately lead that great organization. The board of directors and staff, the contractors and partners of the foundation who have worked side by side with me to bring our organization to the level of excellence where I think we are today. And yes, the United Communities Volunteer Fire Department, who protect the area that I now live, who allow me the opportunity to stay involved with the delivery of emergency services, helping me to maintain a reality check on what it's like to be a firefighter today. In addition, my friends, my family, my wife Jan, who has supported me along the entire journey of living my dream of being a firefighter. Thanks for all you did. As I reflect back over the years, I think that there has been one guiding principle that has been the cornerstone of my personal core values. Do the right thing for the right reasons. My parents bestowed that belief in me, and I hope that I have in some way influenced others to do the same. For it is much more important to pass along whatever it is you have been given the responsibility of in a better way and a better state than when you received it. That is why the Everyone Goes Home program is so important to me and a passion of my everyday life. I would hope that through the 16 firefighter life safety initiatives, we could all make the fire service a better and safer place from where we found it. Also in the audience today are a cadre of individuals who are helping to carry on that very message. And I would like to thank them for believing in the same dream that I have, in working to share with everyone to ensure that we go home safely. If we can prevent a single firefighter fatality from occurring, then our mission is validated. Uniquely enough, we have done that. And now we must be ever vigilant to have an ever greater impact on those who may be one of the next to fall. And if they should fall, then we must be ready to pick up the pieces, assist their loved ones in rebuilding their lives, and learn from the tragedy in an effort to prevent it from happening again. That is what the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation is all about. I mentioned earlier that it's important to do the right thing for the right reasons. Well, today I'm going to take the opportunity to do just that. Several months ago, a group of individuals met with the members of our board of directors and asked them to consider correcting an oversight that occurred many years ago when the criteria for inclusion on the Fallen Firefighters Memorial was established. Back then, unfortunately, a specific group of firefighters were left off of the criteria, and our board of directors has decided that this must be addressed. I'm pleased to announce today that at this year's memorial service in Emmitsburg, active duty military firefighters killed while engaged in firefighting operations will be added to the memorial. Thank you. Twelve names dating back to 1981 will be added, and from this day forward, any military firefighter meeting the criteria will be added in the same fashion as any of their civilian brothers and sisters. That is the purpose of this special military honor guard contingent who is on the stage with us today. And in attendance out in that audience is a group of military fire service leaders who traveled to hear that announcement. My thanks to the Department of Defense fire chiefs, past and present, and the Military Firefighter Heritage Foundation for helping us to correct the situation. Being added to the memorial this year will be Airman First Class Ronald J. McNally, United States Air Force. Airman First Class Moon X. Thomas, United States Air Force. Tech Sergeant William C. Hartzell, United States Air Force. Airman Stephen L. Hewlett, United States Air Force. Airman First Class James E. White, United States Air Force. Airman First Class Christopher Rezak, United States Air Force. Lance Corporal Joseph E. Giuliano, United States Marine Corps. Senior Airman Donald A. Trotachad, United States Air Force. Tech Sergeant Thomas R. O'Flaherty, Air National Guard. Corporal Daniel H. Yakin, United States Marine Corps. Corporal Robert M. Weber, Jr., United States Marine Corps. And lastly, Staff Sergeant Ray Rangel, United States Air Force. I would ask that we take a moment of silence to remember these 12 individuals and everyone who has given their all in the service of our country. Let us never forget. On behalf of the Foundation's Board of Directors, our chairman, Chief Denny Compton, who's with us, a gentleman who I have such a great pleasure working for and with, and all of the families we serve throughout the country, again, I want to thank you, each of you here today and all across our fire service community, for the support and assistance you have given us. That support is critical to us being able to carry out our mission. Just ask any of the survivors that are with us, working our booth, spending some time with us, about what it is that we try to do. And yes, I would be remiss if I didn't do a very quick commercial. There are a couple of events that are going to be happening. Today at the Pierce booth at 1:30, we're going to give away a one-of-a-kind Harley-Davidson motorcycle. It's going to be a great event. And of course, tonight, if you haven't bought your tickets, there are tickets available for Stop, Drop, Rock and Roll. Social events, hospitality, networking, but most of all, a way that you can personally give to help the families of the fallen. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless each of you. God bless our wonderful fire service. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you.